Hello, Pumpkin. And welcome back to another slice of the Creepy Pie, joined by my friend, Kai.
It's me
And it's
again.
still Halloween, so he is, of course, still
Yes,
wearing the mask.
I am debating if I'm gonna make this like a part of my identity or if I'm just leaving it at October. But well,
I mean, we could do it
the
like
answer
at
is
times, like as a little snippet, little joke, little cram of like a little
yeah,
breadcrumb at times.
maybe. I don't know. I think we're gonna find out in the next few weeks,
Yeah.
months. I don't know.
Let us know what y'all prefer. Like,
It
do you prefer Kai with or without the mask?
exactly. I am interested in what you have to say. What
Mm-hmm.
you do have to say about my beautiful skincare routine.
That's a beautiful
Okay,
skincare routine. I have,
yeah, thank you.
you have so little wrinkles and stuff.
This
It's
black
such
chin, it's amazing and it's horrible at the same time. So I don't know what to do with it.
valid.
Um,
Not to flex. I
but
have I have a Mifty head like hairband.
okay.
So
That
I'm
is
also like having a cute
a
little thing.
very, very nice flex.
Before we start, however, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to us. To watch, like,
Yes.
to see you support the show. If you have any stories you want us to cover, please leave them down below in the comments. Also, normally I would be drinking something during this video. Right now I am not. That does not mean that you should not either. So please get yourself a drink. Take care of yourself. Maybe a
Yes.
snack too, because you deserve it. You're amazing.
You
Um,
are perfection.
you, you are. Today we are gonna be covering. If you're
Yeah.
armed and at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. That's the title. We thought we would just proceed with the little train-themed stories, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it's a metro, right? So it isn't like exactly a train, but I
No.
feel like for
But the
the
other one was like
stories
a
we have.
subway as well, so I feel like it's similar, like
Yeah.
subways, metro.
Yeah, yeah,
Also,
true.
this is our 10th episode of this
Damn,
podcast.
really?
Yes.
I didn't even realize.
It's our 10th episode, and I am so happy with that. Wait, let me quickly double check.
Same.
Maybe I'm just spouting bullshit,
It
Who
could be,
knows?
but I have the feeling you're keeping better track than me, so it's I trust you.
I don't trust myself, to be honest. No, never mind. I'm stupid. It's a 7.
It's only the stuff.
It said
It
the
feels
9
like I.
episodes because there's
Mm-hmm.
some hidden because I had to re-upload
Oh,
those.
right.
Do you remember? But no, it's the 8th, by the way. It's not even the 7th, it's the 8th. I have 2 videos hidden because of sound quality. So I had to
Mm,
re-upload those,
yeah,
which is fine.
yeah.
But we
Are
kind of
the
fixed the issue now.
Yeah, fair. So this is like it's also fun. Also, is my connection amazing?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's working
fine.
great,
Okay,
to
okay,
be
okay,
honest.
okay, okay.
Also, I have been having like a shit week, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
very much hoping to just like see someone else just completely have his day
Have a shit
ruined.
week.
Like I
Yes.
want the main protagonist of this to just like go down with me, I guess.
I feel you. I think it's sometimes the best way to make your day better is see someone else's day
Yeah.
be completely ruined.
I'm
So,
kidding.
this person wants to be
This
shot
person,
at
yeah.
Glenmont Metro.
Yes, so it starts. If you're armed at the Glenmont Metro, please shoot me.
I am so unbelievably intrigued. How? Why?
Same.
We're gonna get into it. Whoa, my words. I just okay. I am doing great.
Beautiful, Kai. Beautiful.
Bleh.
Make it a headshot. Shoot me in the
Oh,
temple, aiming slightly downwards. I need the bullet to travel to shortest possible distance through my brain before it hits my hippocampus. Kai, we both
this
study
man,
psychology. What does
yeah, he
what does the hippocampus do? This is a quiz.
This is like the logical the part of your brain that makes you think. I think. I don't know. I don't remember.
I
Apparently,
thought
I
so as
already
well.
yeah.
I thought
So,
it was
but
the part that made you like function.
yeah, I think without hippocampus, you just can't be. Also, it felt like the
Oh,
way he
it's the
describes
storage for.
this.
Okay, so I googled it just to be sure. It's
Uh-huh.
the main storage for your long-term memory,
Yeah.
and it helps you with like, well, any memories or the permanent memory and
Memories are pretty important,
stuff like that. Yeah.
but it feels like the way he is just describing this is like he knows his stuff. This guy is a
Okay, wait.
biologist.
If I am lucky, the sensation of the bullet ripping through my skull will only last a few decades.
Excuse you, what
Decades?
are you talking about?
Okay, maybe we should just like get into this.
Yeah,
That
maybe we
was the
should.
introduction.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. As awful as this sounds, you'll be doing me an enormous favor. Death by a headshot, as soon as possible, is
Mm,
vastly better than the alternative. My ordeal started over 10,000 years ago. At 10:15 this morning, I earned extra money by participating in drug trials. I am a so-called healthy subject who takes
yeah.
experimental drugs to help assess side effects. Once it was a kidney drug, a few times it's been something for blood pressure or cholesterol. This morning they told me the drug I took was a psychoactive substance intended to accelerate brain function. So this man has been
So,
alive for uh
well, yeah, 10,000s of years, but
10,000
also,
years.
okay, so this is a drug that he's taking for accelerating brain function.
Wait,
Is he believing
wait, wait,
that he
wait.
lived? Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now I don't want to spoil anything. I want to.
No, yeah.
I have a feeling
Okay.
that I slightly know what this might be about, but I feel like if I'm gonna explain and like shoot my
Mm-hmm.
theory now, I might ruin the entire plot.
Well, I do not feel as I do not feel that my theory is as promising, but my theory is just like he took this drug and then his brain like thought that he already lived like 10,000 years, so just this drug just made him go crazy.
Okay, you want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
It's not entirely my theory. I once saw like on TikTok this story of this guy, where
Yeah.
they had a prison, and it was like in a dystopian future, and you could pick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be here for one day, but go into the room, or do you want to just sit out your sentence? Some
Yeah.
prisoners choose for one day. They had to sign contracts and stuff. Like you can't leave, you can't go out, whatever happens. There's no safety, there's no safe word, no. You have to endure.
Okay.
So in that room, the room was basically filled with gas, not a Russian sleep experiment. We'll cover that another day. But the room was filled with a gas, and this gas
Mm-hmm.
would make you. It would make time, I believe, agonizingly slow,
Uh-huh.
and you would experience it, like you would experience that day as if it were like multiple hundreds of years, and it
Yeah.
would just be multiple hundreds of years of straight torture, like the worst kinds imaginable. It would you
Mm-hmm.
would be your body would actually feel the pain, you would be fully aware, like all of that stuff. And you can't quit for like all those hundreds of years that feel you'll never be the same after. Like not a lot of prisoners
No.
survived it. Most of them, you know, deleted themselves early because they couldn't
Yeah.
take it. I feel like this drug might be like the testing trial of that drug, of like, oh, you'll experience so many like times at such a slow pace, but like you'll be tortured the entire time, but like the proof of that. So
Also, wouldn't it be awful, like horrible to like you are like the healthy subject and one time you're oh, this is a kidney drug. This is a drug for your blood pressure or cholesterol. Oh, also this time you're experiencing like you have lived like 10,000 years
Yeah,
and are suffering.
I feel like the
This
time
is.
just slows for him. So he took it this morning at like
Mm-hmm.
10:15, and since that moment, thousands of years have passed. So he's just
Mm,
experienced all of those years consciously, but like the world around him is like moving at such a slow pace. It's just ridiculous.
that's very interesting.
Um,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Just I wouldn't.
I
No.
I'm not in
Just no.
general. I have seen like a lot of these ads lately of like, oh, you can like do a medical trial and like, make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's needed, and I know it's like important to do medical trials and like medical testing and all of that
Yeah.
jazz. But it just feels weird to me the way they advertised it at like, oh, it's quick and easy buck. Oh, you can just
Yeah.
make money
Okay.
easily.
That's
Oh,
not
you
the
can
way
just
it
like
should be done. I
they
think.
literally advertised like, oh, for this type of research you can earn like up to 3,000 euros, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
do you see what it says like in the description? But
Yeah.
that was put there like with just very small letters. Like you
Mm-hmm.
would have to look for it, but it said things like you cannot do this if you have all of these things going on. That like you'd be putting your own health at risk for like months for
Yeah.
just like $3,000, and I was like,
Yeah.
why? That way
And
of
also like.
advertising feels very dystopian to me and very kind of wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I don't think it should be like this quick and easy way to earn your money. It's like this is a thing that can really ruin your life, maybe,
Possibly,
potentially.
yeah.
So you should frame it as such. But also, we don't know yet
No.
if this is the way if this is the case for our main protagonist, which doesn't have a name yet,
Yeah.
or
I
maybe won't
do, up
ever.
until now, feel like it's hitting hard. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
It's
so-called... Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's I think the first few sentences we only read like
Like,
three
we're 12
sentences,
minutes
but
in
also
and we've only read,
oh
like, the
my god,
first
this
little...
is going great. But also like the first few sentences were configured at the way in a way that I think it gets me going. I like it.
Same.
Let's go.
I'm a so-called healthy subject who takes experimental drugs to help assess the side effects. Once it was a kidney drug, a few times it's been something with blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure or cholesterol, and this morning they told me the drug I took was a psychoactive substance intended to accelerate brain function. None of the drugs I had tested so far have ever done anything for me. In the recreational sense, in other words, none of the drugs I've tested have given me a killer buzz, or mellowed me out, or anything. Maybe I've always ended up the placebo group, but nothing I've tested had affected me me at all. We hear like this little side quest. I'll get back to it. We hear like during our studies about like the placebo group. You have like the
Yeah.
group of people that are like taking the meds, and then you have the neutral group that you do not test the meds on, but you tell them you do.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire study will be completely like unbiased, and you can actually measure which symptoms will be from the actual drugs or not. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
let's continue. Today's drug was different. This shit worked.
Dang.
They gave me a pill at 10:15 and told me to hang out in the waiting room until they called me back for some tests.
Oh, okay. So now they are about. Okay, I'm sorry. This is my part. Okay. I wanted to say something about the next part,
Go
and then I
ahead.
realized it was my part.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe you
so
should cover it first.
please go back to the first that sentence so I can jump
Okay.
in as if I was
We'll do this
knowingly
again, don't
jumping
worry.
in.
Today's drug was different. This shit worked. They gave me a pill at 10:15 and told me to hang out in the waiting room until they called me back for some tests.
Only about 30 minutes.
The research assistant told me. I flopped onto the waiting room couch and read a few articles from a copy of Psychology Today. I have that! That was sitting on the coffee table. They hadn't called me back when I finished the psychology today, so I picked up a US newspaper and read it cover to cover. Then I read an old scientific American.
Yeah.
What was taking? Oh wait, you
Wasn't-
want to do the thoughts as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was taking them so dang long? Okay, so at the moment I read like the part about only 30 minutes, only about 30 minutes. Immediately I was like, they are like
The drug is
saying like
working.
it's yeah, I think you are right on the money. I don't know, I haven't read anything else, but I think you are right on the money. Oh my god, he is just
Uh-oh.
okay.
Oh, here we go. I sluggishly
Here
turned
we
my
go.
head to look at the wall clock. It was only 10:23 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's only 18 minutes. Well,
It's
no,
18 minutes.
it's
So
8
still
minutes.
can
It's
be-
only been 8 minutes.
Oh
I can't
my
do math.
God.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna go well for him. He's read 3
No.
newspapers, like 3 magazines in... Okay. I remember thinking this was going to be a long day. I was right.
Mhm.
The waiting room had a little bookshelf with some used hardcovers on it. When I stood up to walk to the bookshelf, it felt like my legs barely worked. It's not that they are weak, they were just
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah, you were right. Okay, this is just going the way you
Listen.
like.
I'm just like the best theorist out here.
You didn't like read all of the stories that we.
No, disclaimer, this is one
out.
of the stories I've actually not read yet. This was just purely
Okay.
me connecting dots.
Yeah. How can I trust you? You just like immediately knew.
Kai,
Okay.
look at me.
I'll look at you.
Have I ever lied to you?
Not that I know of.
Exactly. So you don't know.
Okay.
No, I promise you on the fact that I'm wearing red lip gloss that no, I have not read this.
Well, now you gotta make this promise right.
It's actually red, by the way.
Is it red?
Yeah, it's red.
Isn't it like rose red? Okay.
I don't know. It's just either red or pink for me. So
Fair.
or black. I now also have black lipstick. Anyways, let's get into it
Cool.
again. The waiting room had. Oh, I just. It's not that they were weak. They were just slow. It took a full minute to just stand up off of the couch, and
That would be
another minute
horrible.
to take 2 steps to the bookcase. Imagine losing that control over your body.
Oh.
I would. The
I
waiting.
would get infuriated.
Yeah. I slogged back to the couch. Oh, huh? I scanned the old books on the shelf and picked out a copy of Moby Dick. That feels like it's supposed to symbol something. I don't know why. My
I
arms
scanned
had.
the old books.
Yeah, can you research what Moby Dick is about again? Just a quick Google.
Yeah.
Okay, in the meantime I'll keep reading. My arms had the same problems as my legs. Just reaching one foot in front of me to grab the book took a long time. I actually got bored just waiting for my hand to reach the spine of the book. I slogged back to the couch and collapsed onto it in a slow motion fall that reminded me of the low gravity hops of astronauts on the moon. I opened Moby Dick, slowly, and began reading. I started with Call Me Ishmael and got as far as Ahab throwing his pipe into the sea, which was all the way to frickin' chapter 30. Before they called me back. This will be dialogue for you, but what did you find?
Well, it's about like hunting this beast to a myth.
Oh, you look so creepy with that mask. I can't.
It's
I can't. It's weird.
the thematics are about the trustworthiness of knowledge and perception and the free
Perception.
will.
And
Yeah,
free
yeah.
will.
So, yeah. So
Hmm.
it's about like the existence of gods. It's like, do they exist? Is like questioning that.
Okay, well
So
that's interesting. Maybe it
yeah,
will like
yeah,
be a theme or something. Anyways,
maybe
it's
at some point he will like feel like he is a god, but also like trapped in his own body.
possibly.
Whoa, if the word god is gonna be mentioned in this
We won.
story.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so how are you feeling?
The researcher assistant asked me.
I feel slow.
I said,
Actually, it's the other way around. Everything seems slow because you are so fast. But my legs, my arms, they are moving in slow motion. Your body seems, yeah, apparently this is also my part. Your body seems like it's moving slowly because your brain is fast. Your brain is running 10 or 20 times faster than normal. You are thinking and perceiving reality at an accelerated pace. But your body is still constrained by the laws of biomechanics. Frankly, you are moving much faster than a normal person.
she
Sh-
pantomimed a jogging motion.
But your brain, apparently this is a woman, but this woman can also sound like this. Okay,
She just has a very
but your,
deep and sultry voice. It's
yeah,
fine.
but your brain is running so much faster now.
I love
Then
how
maybe
their
your,
voice got deeper just now. Like you were like, no, we're
yeah,
sticking with this. We are
no,
doubling down.
this woman is smoking so much that even your fast walk seems very slow to you.
I thought about my slow motion flop onto the waiting room couch. Even if
So
my
much of
muscles had
flop.
slowed down, my body would still react to the gravity the same way.
Mm.
But in the waiting room, I even fell in slow motion. Slow muscles couldn't explain why gravity seems weaker. My brain was going at warp 10. That's how I managed to read 3 magazines and the first 30 chapters of Moby Dick in 15 minutes.
Also, I imagine right now, like in 15 minutes, he like read 3 magazines and the first 30 chapters of Moby Dick. He's like moving like at this pace when reading.
What's the most impressive thing you can do in 15 minutes?
Um, Probably drink 1 or 2 pots of tea.
You wanna have a real flex coming from me?
Yes,
You
sure,
you wanna
sure.
feel a burn?
Okay, how you are saying this, it's I'm getting scared. What are you gonna tell me?
I can do my dishes in 15 minutes.
Okay, okay, you don't need to flex that hard, okay? I know I could take like 1.5 hours of my for my dishes, but it's like
Listen,
one
Kai
week
will literally
dishes.
post like Insta stories, and I enjoy them so much with like very fun
Mm,
captions and everything. But like he posts them just to motivate himself to do dishes, and it's great. Like
mm.
just spends like the day
Uh,
doing dishes, and it's.
yeah. So at this point, I
You
haven't
also like
posted them
you
really.
yeah no I know I miss them. You always used to accidentally do it whenever I happened to have a shitty day.
Oh, that's very funny.
And then you would post them, and then I would be like going home like in the train or whatever, and then I would see
Mm.
them and they would instantly just brighten my day.
Well, at this point, like I added them to like my you can save your stories on Instagram
Mhm.
in like an album, and my album of Instagram stories about my dishes were like above 100. So your album can only have like 100 of your
Yeah.
stories. So I needed to make a second album. It's like that bad,
It's
but
that bad.
also
Listen,
but
I
I
kind
haven't
of
done it
miss
like in a
them, to
long
be
time.
honest. This is why I've been feeling so shitty lately. Like my shitty day has just not been able to
Yeah.
end because you have not posted the dishes.
Okay.
That's why
You know what?
just
Maybe
perpetually.
maybe more tomorrow. Maybe
Please,
tomorrow.
please,
Okay?
just post them. I need
Ju-
them. I
Just for
need
you.
them. Thank you. I
Okay.
need it. Anyways, they ran a series of tests on me. The physical tests were fun. They made me juggle 3 balls, then 4, then 6. I had no problem keeping 6 balls in the air because they seemed to
No.
be moving so slowly. It was boring, frankly, waiting for each ball to move through its arc so I could catch it with my slow motion hands and toss it back into the air. They threw Cheerios in the air and I caught them with chopsticks. They dropped a handful of coins and I counted the total value before they hit the ground. That stuff still seems to be, like, for me, I would imagine that still being hard if your hands are still moving in slow motion, because you would have to correct course, right?
Yeah.
What if you do not hit right the first time and then you can't correct it because your body is still
No,
slow,
because
like
you're
moving
still
at a
going in
slow
slow
pace.
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be very annoyed if. I think it would be fun if you were doing this intentionally and like for it only was like for 1 hour maybe. Then it would be cool.
But just having to do this, like, so...
Oh,
I would not want to have the
I
drugs that he's
hate.
on, to be honest.
No, just I would skip. I would skip.
The cognitive tests were less fun, but very illuminating. Finishing a 50-word search in 3 seconds. Solve an
Damn.
intricate maze drawn onto a poster-sized paper, 2 seconds. View a slideshow projected at 10 images per second. And answer detailed questions about what I saw. 95% correct.
Loser.
That's just him being smart, I guess. No, I'm kidding. They told me I measured over 250 on the Knopf scale. Apparently that's deep into a superhuman range of thinking speeds.
Yeah, my man got insanely
I
smart.
do love that they like the wording of like the cognitive tests.
Yeah.
And like
So,
the Knopf scale. The fact that they're actually using wording from like psychology and stuff. I like that.
It's well construed. It feels like they know what they're
Yeah.
talking about. It feels like this story, like he is just like, this is what happened, as if he were really there. So it's nice.
I like it. Then they sent me home.
Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, stay with us, please.
Okay, I'll stay with you. Okay. And send.
Also, you
amazing.
in that mask, and then you just like you just stop functioning.
Yeah. It will wear off in a few hours.
They said.
Which will seem like days to you. Try to use the residual effects to get some work done. Catch up on work, emails, while you are still in high speed mode.
I don't think work emails is gonna be the only thing you'll be doing. He could watch the
No.
entirety of like all of the things that humans ever made
Mhm.
of like movies and
Yeah.
cinematography
Or-
and stuff like that.
He can watch all of the extended cuts,
Yeah.
like the extended of the Lord of the Rings, and just do the marathons like 20 times. Amazing.
Like to watch the same
maybe I
thing.
do want the drug.
No, kind of.
Yeah, how much is it? Can I pay for it?
Oh
Instead
no,
of
because the
gaining
movie
money?
would still go at the slow
Oh,
pace.
no.
Oh, so you can
Okay.
only
But-
read.
But you can speed it. You can speed it up, right?
Yeah, but not enough for like 1,000 years.
No, fair. 10,000 was it, right? Like multiple.
Yeah,
Multiple. Oh my god.
it's awful.
Also,
Anyways,
imagine he has written this on a laptop. He has written this on a laptop, which seemed for him like 10 years. He has written this story for 10 years.
yeah. Oh, that's.
Just to make sure
Oh
that
my
somebody
goodness.
eventually
Okay.
kills.
I hope he just used text to speech to text. You know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I hope so. But also, yeah, okay. Let's move on.
the ride home was horrible. It was
Yeah.
only 3 metro stops. To be honest, I don't get that they put this drug in him, monitor him for like a little bit, and then send him home. I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
not
you
how
should have
you
like
should
a
be doing
better
that.
Yeah, you should keep up with the patient better on like a
You,
psych level, because this would mess with a
this,
person. If you do
if
not
you
know what
are
it does,
accelerating somebody's mind and just
yeah,
like
you
messing
better
with his
watch
brain,
them.
you better like keep him under control. You keep him at the facility, so eventually when it wears out, then you can, I don't know, then you can
Or
let
like
him
make
go.
sure
But
you have like an antidote so that it can get out of it.
uh,
Or you know
uh,
for sure. Yeah, it's weird.
what
Anyways,
are they doing?
yeah, I mean
Horrible.
it's a trial, so I get it, but also help.
Their way of handling this is more horrible than the ride home for this main
Yeah.
dude.
It was only 3 metro stops, and in real world time, it only took about 35 minutes. But in my drug accelerated hyper time, it felt like days. Days. Just walking out of the
No.
medical research suit to the elevator seemed like it took an hour. I feel like, okay, this gonna be my last cutoff, and then we'll continue for like a while. I
Yeah,
feel like the
yeah,
drug is making him go slower and slower, like his mind faster and
yeah.
faster.
It's
Because 15
hmm
minutes was earlier was like, oh, 3 magazines and like 30 chapters of a
yeah.
book, and now it's already days.
That's what I also was thinking. Like it's going just crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's accelerating too.
Just walking out of the medical research suit to the elevator seemed like it took an hour. I sprinted out of the office, willing my legs to push me faster. But the laws of biomechanics held me prisoner. As
Uh,
accelerated as my brain was, I couldn't do anything to make my legs work faster. The huge
Listening to
disconnect
your own
between my
brain.
body and my mind made it extremely difficult to judge how and when to slow down, turn or rotate my body. That's what I meant. I had basically
Mm-hmm.
turned into a giant slow motion spaz. I misjudged my speed and rammed into the wall of the elevator. Button at a pretty good high speed. Oh, he ran into the
Oh.
the sentence got up there, but by the wall by the elevator button at a pretty high speed. Even though I could see the wall coming at me, I couldn't make my finger outstretched to hit the elevator button. Move away fast enough, and I jammed it against the wall. Hard. The
Ow.
pain was intense. If my brain
Ouch.
had been running at regular speed, it probably only would have hurt for 30 seconds or so. But in my
Oh
accelerated state,
no!
this is what I meant. The intense pain seemed to last for half an hour. 45 minutes maybe. This is what I meant with like that drug that you can use like to
Yeah, I know. This is gonna last for like a few days. No, in a few hours. Okay, but also, I don't know.
That's awful though.
This is horrible. This is
Because
horrible.
like the pain
Okay.
you feel when you ran into something, like the
Oh, I
first hit
imagine
is
like your
insane.
finger and it's.
Oh,
Ugh.
stop it. Okay. Okay. No, we're not doing this. The elevator ride was horrible. It felt like I spent 4 or 5 hours just ascending 7 floors with nothing to look at but the interior of the elevator
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
I sprinted to the metro station. I have to admit, this part was almost fun. Even though my body moved at what seemed to me super slow speed, I could still carefully choose how and where to place my feet, swing my arms, and turn my
If
torso.
if you have like free reign and there is nothing that's like in the way,
The thing
it can
is,
feel fun
other
for
people see
your
him moving at like their perception. So he's probably
yeah.
just glitching. Like you see a man just like twisting, turning way
Well,
too fast, and it's
yeah.
insane.
I feel like he's just speed walking, but also with like weird jerking motions.
Also, the fact that the scientists were still able to talk to him is wild.
Yeah, he must have been like,
I mean, but his mouth could.
yeah.
You know how, like, us too with, like, ADHD, sometimes our brain works faster than our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, like,
Yeah.
go like. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we literally can't
all
keep
the
up with
time, all the
ourselves
time.
all the time. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what he would have. Because, like, his mouth probably can't move as fast as his brain wants
Mm-hmm.
it to because of gravity.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because of gravity, not
Insane.
biomechanics, just gravity. Gravity is the reason.
Yeah, biomechanics. Anyways,
But I mean, if gravity exists, which it does, then it explains all the other things.
If
So,
gravity
let's just move on.
exists, which
No,
between
but
brackets, which it does.
it does. I
You
know
just
some
lost all
people.
of my Flat Earth subscribers. How dare you?
Oh man, it's not that we don't want you, but just don't be here.
What?
Anyway,
Guy! You're
I'm
being
sorry.
so rude. Take it
I'm
back.
being so rude.
Be
Uh,
nice. Say one nice thing right now
mm,
about Flat Earthers.
is that possible? uh, you are very good at disproving your own beliefs.
Okay, that's one nice thing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
It took it only took a block or two to getting used to having a brain that ran 2 dozen times faster than my body. Then I basically sprint danced. I just see him like tap dancing.
Yeah.
The rest of the way, twisting and jerking between people on the sidewalk and dodging moving cars with inches, aka minutes of clearance. I
Yeah.
spent an hour, in my time frame, descending into the subway and turning to the platform. Endless tedium, waiting the 6 minutes for the red line train to arrive. Although there was more to look at on the metro platform than inside the elevator. It was still intensely boring. I should have stolen that copy of Moby Dick. I
I
think you should have.
I think so too. But also like if you were like having this very fast moving brain and you were like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna watch some TikToks or Instagram reels.
That's annoying as
But
well.
then because Instagram reels or TikToks are like the idea is you are having like this fast paced content, like
It's not fast paced
fueling your
enough
brain.
anymore.
This is not fast paced
I
anymore,
also
no.
don't know how you would be perceiving sound. Because how is he still able
Ooh,
to talk to people? Like, he's still able. I would not, if
that's
like a
very
sentence was
interesting.
that stretched out for me to listen to, I would not be able to hear that, I think.
Yeah,
So that's insane as well.
no fair. I don't know, but that's maybe looking a little bit too much into it. I
Yeah,
think
no, but I find it interesting.
it is interesting for sure.
I
Yeah,
am
I
really
think
much
if this
still
was
like
real,
into this. I am.
hmm
It's grabbing me.
but also we are like at least like 2/3 of the story now, right?
The red
Or
line,
1/3,
the red line
1/3.
train roared into the station in slow motion. The normally high-pitched squeal of its brake was frequency shifted by mid-high speed, mined to a low tone, like a monotone tuba solo. That sounds boring. It wasn't just a
Uh-huh.
squealing subway train that are 3 octaves lower than normal. All sound was low to the point of near inaudibility. That's what I meant! That's what I said.
Hey,
Listen, I am so
yeah,
smart.
you're
Maybe I should
on
stop
fire.
talking, because then
Yeah,
I'll just be predicting everything.
but also if you stop talking, like, what is the point of all of it?
This entire podcast just goes out the window.
Yeah,
I'll just stop talking.
just stop talking.
I'll just stop
No,
talking.
please move on with your talking.
Thank you.
I'm interested.
I did manage to hear a screaming baby on my subway car. Her shrieks slowed to a sound like whale songs. That's the Moby Dick fart, right? That's
Moby
a
Dick
reference.
farts?
Part.
I'm sorry.
No, listen. Moby Dick was like a whale, right? Like a.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
whale song, like a whale song.
Mm,
Sharp
it's a
sounds like a
cool,
car.
it's a cool throwback.
Yeah.
I really need to read Moby Dick. I gotta ask Moby Dick like for a present. Okay.
I have to read Moby Dick as well. Anyways, sharp sounds like a car horns, and trucks bouncing over potholes were low. Muddied roars like a distant thunder. Back at the research offices, I could still hear and communicate with the research staff, but now verbal communication with anyone would be impossible. The effects of the drugs were still intensifying. That's what I was saying! I'm so right about
Yeah.
this. I'm sorry. I am so happy. I do not know why. Anyways,
Oh yeah, that's horrible. The drugs just set in, and at the moment they set in, you like experienced 1/4 of an hour, like for like maybe an hour or two,
like hours, I think.
and that's like the first like quarter of the drug moving into your system. So of course it's gonna intensify, right?
Yeah. It's only gonna
It
get
makes
worse
so much
first. It
sense.
has to get
It
worse
makes
for it to get better.
Yeah, of course. Okay, this is oh
I
this
s-
poor guy. This
yeah.
is horrible.
I
This is
spent
horrible.
what seemed like days on that fucking red line train. Days listening to a whale song of the screaming baby and the tuba solo of the brakes. Where ordinary voices were frequency shifted out of my audio range, smells didn't seem to be affected. I never became nose blind to the body odor, the stench of the train's brakes, and the melange of
Okay.
farts and other smells wafting through the metro car. I finally got back to my apartment, sprinting through my open doors and into the front hall at full speed. But full
Mhm.
speed was like a slow, relaxing drift down a lazy river. I was relieved to be home, at least I had stuff I could do there. I picked up the book I was reading, 100 Years of Solitude, and finished it. Despite turning the pages so quickly that I tore so many of them, it seemed like most of the time I spent finishing the book was spent on page turning and not actually reading. 3 minutes had passed since I got home. I tried surfing the
No.
internet. My god, it takes long for computers to boot these days. I like that he's making like a little joke there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, it takes long for computers to boot these days, as in like he's just way too fast. But it was too
Yeah.
frustratingly low. Like, there's already so many people complaining about like internet browser now.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having to experience that.
Oh my god. That's horrible.
Also being like literally stuck in your own body while that happens, because you can't even move and go do something else. You just have to sit there and watch a white screen for that. Oh.
But also, like, imagine your brain at some point. You all these times, like every second, you're like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this. And if your body can't keep up with that speed, like you are sending like thousands, milliards, billions of like um what do you call it, like brain parts, energy,
Yeah,
stuff like
neurons.
to your neurons. Yeah, you're moving those neurons like 1,000 times in like 1 second.
Yeah,
Your body can't keep up with it at some point. At some point, it's like gonna
yeah.
be like
Of course you'll go
also
mad.
like if your aunt in it at the Glenmont metro, please shoot me. At some point, he's like gonna move to Glenmont Metro because he's like gonna be stuck there,
Yeah, he just
and
probably he's
he's
gonna
like
post this on the internet and then go there because he wants to.
yeah. Nah, he's probably gonna be there already because otherwise it will be. Oh no, 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 no! It won't be too late because
No, he'll
everything
just
is
have
moving like
posted
in real
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he's like gonna be staying there in his head like for years,
Yeah.
but in other
But it
people's mind
was
like for
but it was too frustratingly slow. Hours
yeah.
seemingly to load each new page.
Uh, uh, uh,
And a fraction of a second to read it. 100 articles in the news feed read, and just 3 more minutes done. I dipped into my pile of yet to be read books and finished 2 more. 4 more minutes had passed. I decided to try to sleep off the remaining effects of the drugs. Unfortunately, whatever part of my mind is responsible for perception, the part that's been accelerated to hyper speeds by the drug,
mhm.
isn't the same as the part that governs sleep. Despite being awake for what I perceived as days, my physical brain still thought it was 1:25 p.m. It was not ready for sleep. Nevertheless, I tried to sleep. I walked to the bedroom, a slow 45-minute drift through my apartment, and flung myself into bed, lazily falling like a feather onto the mattress. I closed my eyes and I lay there for hours and hours, 10 minutes of reality time. Before giving up,
Mhm.
sleep would not come. I was facing what was going to feel like days or maybe even weeks of being trapped in a slow motion prison.
Oh no.
So I took an Ambien. The sensation of the pill and the splash of the water I used to swallow it sliding in my throat was sickening. A lump that blocked my breathing, moving
Ugh.
like a slug down my esophagus. I read a book. 10 minutes had passed. I read another. 18 minutes since I took the Ambien. I threw the book across the room in disgust at my situation. The book slowly pirouetted and spun through
Yeah.
the air, like a leaf blowing in a breeze. It hit the wall with a long, faint rumble.
Mm-hmm.
The only sound I had heard for what seemed like hours, then drifted to the floor like a flip-flop sinking in a swimming pool. The force of gravity hadn't changed since I took the pill. The laws of physics were the same. It was just my perception of time that had gone wackadoo. This meant I could use the speed things seemed to fall as a way of judging the effects of the drug. Based on how long it took the book to drift to the floor, I estimated the effects of the drug were still intensifying. You know what I think they should
Okay.
have done? They should have literally
Well.
compiled all of entirely of human knowledge, everything they have into these videos that go by at the speed that he can read them, and
Mm-hmm.
just play those in front of him.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And
Oh my
that's how you
god.
should keep him busy, because then he has thousands of years of knowledge to literally learn in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, and he can. And then when the drug's actually done, he'll have had something to do, and he would not have had
Yeah.
the whole entire sensation of oh, my body doesn't move with me
But
now.
also, like, this is like a test thing, so maybe they didn't know it would be
Yeah,
like
no,
this
fair.
bad.
But I feel like you
And
can use it for
also,
that one, for that
yeah,
purpose, very
and if you
smartly.
know if you don't know how much it's gonna impact you, maybe they could have like made different versions of it. So like one version is like 10 frames per second and the other one is like 1,000.
Literally.
I don't know. And like every
Literally.
every frame should be like a full paragraph.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I read a magazine. I turned on the television. I clearly saw each frame of video like I was watching a slideshow. See what I mean? Frustrated, I
We're
turned the
just
television off. We are walking ahead of them.
yeah, we just gotta read. We just gotta read.
Hmm. I read some more. The first two books of Churchill's A History of the English-Speaking Peoples. Not exactly a light read. Frankly, I hated it. But given the hours of tedium it would take to get another book off my bookshelf,
Yeah,
just sitting on the
yeah.
couch and reading Churchill was better. Or at least or at least less worse. I'm getting bored just reading this. I want to go to bed for him.
Yeah, fair.
Do you want to maybe
Shall I?
take
Yeah,
over? And then I can
that's
sit
okay.
back, chill out.
Exactly. You chill.
Yeah,
I'll take this very big responsibility on me.
great.
It had now been 35 minutes since I took the Ambien. I lay down on the couch and closed my eyes. Time passed. I inhaled an hour's long process. Whoa, words. Time passed. I exhaled for more hours. Sleep would not come.
I love how you're
I'm
reading this like a
yeah.
confused AI. You're
I
like,
am
sleep, dot, would, dot, not, dot, come, dot.
yeah. I am a confused AI. If you didn't know,
Why?
I need.
Why are
Do
you
you
doing
think I
that?
have an answer to that?
Yes.
Also, no.
Focus on the
I
story.
I don't.
No.
I needed a new plan. I decided to go back to the offices where they gave me the drug. Oh no, you're gonna take okay, I'm predicting he's gonna try to go back to the offices and gonna strand on Glenmont Metro and at some point it's
Mm.
fuck this. This is not gonna work because I have been
I
traveling
mean,
for 10,000
literally,
of
we
years.
are also not made to literally live for thousands
No,
of years. So I feel
of
like
course
at
not.
that point, of course, he'd be done.
You're going insane in 200 years.
Gonna see if I can find my hamster real quick. No,
Yeah,
he's not at his usual hangout spots.
in the meantime, I shall move on with the thingamajig, which is
Yes.
called the story. I needed a new plan. Oh, I read this already. Yeah, but I'll read it again. I needed a new plan. I decided to go back to the offices where they gave me the drug. Maybe they would Yeah.
No, I was I was
Okay,
yawning.
you were just briefing. Okay, no, never mind. Maybe do it.
I breathe. You just take it personally. Like, yes.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Do you want
Maybe
to speak? Speak.
speak up. You are so quiet. Maybe they would have something that could counteract its effects. Yes, that's an amazing thought process, my man. Or at least something to knock me out until we're off. Are you imagining this person as a man or a woman?
Can't he? I think it's a. I feel like it's a man for some reason, but
Yeah.
can't
Same.
he literally just like take? Also, because they don't really use women a lot for medical trials. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. I
It's mostly men.
didn't know.
Yeah, there's like a lot of medical sexism and stuff. It's a real problem, and
Oh,
that's something I'm gonna get into right now.
that I knew of, like,
But
for
also the fact that like they're scared that women are pregnant and all that. Yes, it's weird. And
Mhm.
fertility, and it can cause issues like that. They don't want to risk all of that. So, anyways, that's
Mm,
why I think it's a
yeah.
man. I'm also thinking, why does he not in this moment literally just, I don't know, grab one of those books and just aim it for like his head for like the right spot to make him pass out? Why is he
So
not
he's
making
gonna, like,
himself pass out?
dash his head in, like, for a few hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
but the ambient didn't work as well, and he would feel the pain.
yeah.
Anyways,
He
go
would
on.
feel the pain for such a long time,
Yeah.
though. And you can't hit yourself, like, you can't knock yourself out with, like, one hit with a book, right? Maybe
If
you
you
can if
place
you're,
it
like,
right,
very ill, but
probably. Anyways.
yeah, he's gonna have the time to do it properly.
Yeah,
At
literally.
home, he's probably gonna have, like, a knife, but also at this point he's thinking, like,
And also there's
oh,
this
I
entire
can.
disconnect between like his
No,
mind and his body. It's not like your mind is gonna restrict itself from doing that in this moment. Like your brain is
no,
like a complete other entity than your head.
but
Than your
also
body.
at this point in time he is still like, okay, this is very annoying, but we can probably fix it.
Yeah, but
He's just
still
gonna
he
go,
tried to take like an Ambien to fall asleep, and now he's just like, I hope they can just either
yeah,
knock me out or whatever. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, you can probably still fix it, just get knocked out. But like you can knock out
yeah.
yourself out, I guess.
Oh, you don't mean like I
Wait.
want to.
Huh?
Huh?
No, go on.
Not. I was thinking like you were meaning like in this point in time like end your existence, but that's not what you meant.
No, I meant literally just like
Just
knock
knocking
yourself out.
out.
Just go
Okay.
knocky.
Fair. I don't think going knocky is something
No, I meant like
a saying
go
in
unconscious.
in English. Yeah.
Okay, I just literally just
Anyway.
now tried to Google how to knock yourself out easy, and there's no answers. And maybe that's
Isn't
WikiHow 4 ways to knock
Oh.
knock someone out. There's a WikiHow
someone?
page about this. Yes, someone, not
Okay.
yourself.
Not
Okay,
even yourself.
steps.
Oh, that's a bit concerning, right?
Grab the attacker by the shirt.
Okay. It's an
Push the attacker away. Pull the
It's,
attacker
I
towards
gotta
you.
knock out an attacker. It's an attacker, not just
Oh, but this is still, you're still able to do this.
if you are like experiencing.
Swiftly strike with the right or left of the crown of your head. If you use the middle, chances are you might crack your head. So, and then it says where you need to hit. I will not
Okay.
say so because I don't want to put that in my video, but
But this person should first like do this.
he should just he was
Homework.
googling stuff. Maybe just like look up WikiHow, I guess. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's not a recommendation.
But
Please
also
don't do that.
It's also like a pretty extreme thing if you're still thinking like side effects and you are still.
Yeah, but like
thinking
he
you can
said
fix
it himself. He literally said himself, like, or at least something to knock me out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking
Okay.
like he can knock himself out. Anyways, I'm like strong and
Fair.
independent. I'm like do it yourself, you know.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Also,
excited
just a
my-
moment. Do not do that.
Hmm.
Anyways,
No. let's not. Okay, I exited. I just said excited. I excited my apartment. No, I exited
I was very
my
excited
apartment.
inside my apartment. No, no,
I
keep reading,
exited
keep reading.
my apartment as fast as possible, taking hours in my time frame to do so. I didn't even bother locking the door. It would have taken too long. Down the stairs, it's faster than the elevator if I run, through the lobby, out of the front door, and onto the streets. These few things felt like a long day at the office. I imagine like you are going down the stairs, but just trying to sprint too fast and just
Yeah.
immediately going
He could
like
have
face
just jumped
first.
down at this point. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No,
But
hmm.
go on reading.
Sprinting down the street.
We have to stop
Yeah,
pausing
we
it. I
just
think.
gotta move on.
Yeah.
Sprinting down the street, dancing and weaving between pedestrians with what must have looked to them superhuman dexterity. Down the first flight of stairs at the metro, across the landing, another hour. Then onto the second flight of stairs. That's when the Ambien hit me. No! The Ambien didn't make me sleepy. Not at all. Instead, it must have had a severe cross reaction with the experimental drug I took this morning. I was bounded down the second flight of stairs, moving in slow motion, but still making perceptible progress. Then, wham, everything stopped. The dull roar of the street and metro noises ceased, replaced by the most perfect silence I've ever experienced. My downwards motion seemed to completely freeze. Before the ambient kicked in, my perception of time was maybe a few hundreds times slower than real time. After the ambient took effect, time moved thousands of times slower. Every second seemed like a day to me. Even just moving my eyes to focus on a new point was like an impossible slow scroll across my visual field.
Shall I?
Over the yeah,
Oh, this sucks for him though.
this sucks so hard. If he didn't take the Ambien, it would have been like
It would have been
it wouldn't
better.
have been this bad.
He would have probably been able to still make it.
Yeah,
Like I said, he should
I
have
think
knocked
so.
himself out before the before the Ambien.
Yeah, yeah.
I was right. No, I'm kidding.
You
Over
were
the
right all along.
Listen, I'm giving great advice here. Don't. Over the course of the afternoon,
Always.
I learned how to walk, run, and jump when my mind ran hundreds of times faster than my body. You would literally be trapped. But with
Mm-hmm.
another 4 or 5 orders of magnitude of slowdown caused by the Ambien, my body control was almost impossible.
Oh,
I fell on the stairs, even though I was all but frozen in mid-step. Controlling my muscles was impossible.
yeah.
I
Obviously.
commanded my foot forwards for hours, then backwards for hours, more when it seemed like I would miss the next step. Hours attempting to adjust the angle of my ankle, and then readjusting when it felt wrong. Despite these efforts, I rolled my ankle onto the next step.
Oh,
The pain wasn't all mitigated by the slowness. Hours of increasing pain on my bent ankle. The nerve signals that send pain into the brain must work differently than the nerves in my ear. Sonic energy was spread out over time, diluted until it was imperceptible. Pain flowed into my brain, undiluted by the change in my perception of time. Hours and hours of increasing weight on my ankle turned into hours of increasing pain upon increasing pain. I pitched forwards, my high-speed mind completely unable to control my low-speed body. I drifted downwards for days, managing to rotate my torso enough to keep my head from impacting the ground first. I eventually landed on my right shoulder. At first the impact wasn't even noticeable. Then I felt a slight pressure in my shoulder as it came into contact with the ground. The pressure grew, bringing increasing pain for hours upon hours. My shoulder finally gave out, popping out of its socket.
ugh.
with an endless, sickening tug. I came to a stop days later, crumpled onto the ground, staring at the ceiling, the pain in my shoulder still screaming with the intensity of a fresh, violent injury. I had plenty of time to think during that fall. If every second seemed like days to me, then each minute of real-world time would be like years. Even if the drug cleared out of my system in the next 2 or 3 hours, this nightmare would seem to last centuries. By the time I hit the ground, I had a plan. I would somehow get to the platform and throw myself in front of a train.
Oh yeah.
I twisted onto my hands. This is the second story, like this, 2 stories in a row where people want to throw themselves in front of trains.
Yeah, but by one of them, it's like, oh, it's fine. Just do it, then you can
Yeah,
leave
and
this
the other
place
one
and
it's
just,
like self-deleting, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I twisted onto my hands and knees. Days of my dislocated shoulder crying for relief. I misjudged my rotation and rolled onto my back. I tried again, collapsing onto my face as I tried to figure out how to control a body that moved slower than grass grew. Weeks of effort were finally rewarded with success. I stabilized on my hands and knees.
So people around him should be like, this guy is having a seizure. We gotta
Yeah,
call somebody.
but listen, he literally, the only thing that they would have seen happen was him just face planting into the stairs, then
Yeah.
like
Crawling
completely
around
turning
a
his
bit.
ankle and his shoulder, then literally only turning over, and then turning back
And then
over
sitting
again.
on his, yeah, sitting on its
That's all they're
knees and
seeing.
shoulders.
It's not weird yet.
Yeah, fair.
Like, they probably want to help, but they first need to process that, and then they can help. Like, it's gonna take
Yeah,
years.
for somebody to set his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If just
Oh,
getting on all fours was this difficult, I figured out that walking or running was completely out of the question. So I crawled. I crawled to the metro tunnel. The dumb look on the faces of the crowd lingered on me for weeks. I crawled under the turnstile and onto the escalator. The escalator spilled the rush hour crowd onto the platform at the same speed a glacier spills ice into the sea. I looked out over the crowded platform during my interminable downward ride. The train status sign said the next train wouldn't arrive for 20 minutes. 20 minutes was like a year to me. I'd have to spend a year on the metro platform, waiting to die. I think 20 minutes was already more, to be honest. I crawled off the escalator, and during days of stupid expressions on the commuters' faces, I crawled a few feet to a concrete bench and curled up next to it, trying to find a position to lessen the pain in my shoulder. Then my problem with time got worse. Impossibly worse. The massive slowdown on the stairs was just the beginning of the interaction between the experimental drug and the Ambien. It fully hit me while I was curled up by the bench. I blinked. Years of darkness followed. Sound was already gone. And with my blink, sight was gone as well. All that existed was the pain from my fall. My hyper-accelerated mind wasted no time compensating for the lack of sensory input. Voices spoke to me. They sung to me in languages they never existed. Patterns and faces and colors came and went into my mind's eye. My mind's eye. I recalled my whole life and imagined living another. I forgot English.
He didn't blink like all the time. He fell down the stairs, rolled his ankle.
Listen, look at me. This is a blink. This is how quick a blink is. In that
look at my
moment
face
of time, you can you can see it, but in that little time, he's experiencing thousands of years probably.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And like all brains do, he starts to hallucinate because your mind is obviously gonna try to fill in the void that has been created there.
It's a nice touch.
I would not be happy. Anyways.
Oh, I would be so happy.
I settled into profound despair. I spoke to God. I became God. That's the Moby Dick reference again.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
imagined a new
Also, I already
universe.
said, even before the Moby Dick reference you pointed out, I was like, he is gonna feel like he's becoming God.
Probably. I settled
Yeah,
into a
already
profound
said it.
despair. I spoke to God, I became God. I imagined a new universe and brought it to life at my thoughts. Then I did it all again and again.
Sick. Oh,
Okay, shall
at
we
that
just
point, I
finish
would like
it?
want
And
to
then.
close my eyes open. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I would want to just also permanently close my eyes, I think.
Close your eyes
Anyways,
and
my
let
eyes
me
opened
show.
with geological slowness. A faint glow. Weeks. A slit of light. Weeks. A narrow view of the metro platform. Ankles of the commuters near me and advertising on the opposite wall. I extracted my phone from my pocket. A project that spanned decades. How can I even explain the boredom? The pain on my shoulder is nothing compared to the boredom. Even though I can think, I have thought hundreds of times already. The view of ankles and advertisements never changes. Never. The boredom is so intense, it's tangible. Like a solid object of metal and stone wedged into my skull. Inescapable. What are my options? If I crawl and fall onto the tracks without an oncoming train to crush me, I won't die. I'll experience even more pain from the 4-foot fall, but I'll most likely be rescued by some do-gooder on the platform and unable to act when the train finally does arrive. My suffering in that scenario will be endless. So I wait for the train, so I can throw myself under it. When it finally hits me, I will experience the pain of being ripped to pieces for centuries, until finally the light of life leaves my brain, and my experience ends. I lived hundreds of lifespans at the foot of this bench. I am far older in spirit than any human who has ever lived. Most of my life experience has been a snapshot of pain huddled on the floor of a subway platform. With an unchanging view, my ankles end. Oh, there's no other word. It's just that with an unchanging view of ankles and I think it's advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
This post is my plan B. My Hail Mary. My long shot. I spent lifetimes typing and posting this message in the hope that someone will read it and become convinced that my suffering must end. Someone on this platform, right now. Someone
Somebody
who will
was like,
find will find the man curled under the bench, the man who crawled down the escalator, and kill him as swiftly as possible. Ability to temple. If you're armed and at the Glenmont metro,
imagine you're
please shoot me.
at, okay, I'm sorry, but imagine you're Glenmont station, you're like, oh, I'll just read a new Reddit post. Oh, what the hell? What is this I'm looking at? Oh, there's the man. Bam!
Yeah, you just like without thinking, you just.
Yeah.
It also sounded like they didn't actually read it. They just only saw, like, if you're armed and at Glenmont Metro, please shoot me. Like, he didn't even have to type out this entire message. Someone just read the title and was like, oh, well, that's the man, and I know that for some reason. Boom.
Waiting for this moment to have a reason to just
kill somebody.
Yeah.
We also do not know what he looks like, so there could just be a homeless guy next to a bench and just be mistaken.
But how would you know? How would
you can't know?
Oh, he would have a dislocated shoulder, right?
Yeah, but what if, like, years from now, someone is just at the station there and just happens to have fallen down next to the freaking bench?
Oh, it was like, oh, and nobody wants to help me. You know what? I'm just gonna lay down here for a few seconds.
Yeah, like for a little moment, and then he just like gets killed.
I love this. This is a cool story.
This is a very cool story. I was so into this. Like this one, this might be at the top of my list, to be honest. Like the thought of having to go through like medical trials, and then like going through something like this, having to experience time at such a slow pace.
But if you were like, I did this for like a bit of this is like your own fault because you took the ambient, but the ambient you didn't know. How could you have known?
You can't. You don't know. And also,
No,
this
you
medical
don't
trial
know.
is literally useless because they won't know.
Horrible.
Like, the people
No,
let him go home. They only, like, let him play and,
this
like,
is.
juggle a couple of balls. They do
I
not
was
know what happens next. That it keeps
no.
slowing down. They do not know how it responds with the ambient. This entire project
No.
is very badly done, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a thing I was thinking about earlier on was like, are all the people that are gonna be in this project
Mm-hmm.
gonna eventually end themselves?
Possibly.
Because
This
yeah,
is
because
just like why we now have ethical practices in psychology, because this is
yeah,
not, and also this is not a critique to the story, because it's absolutely like, I'm more like
yeah,
mad at the researchers for him right now. I'm just like, because in
yeah,
actual psychology we had projects like this where they tested stuff so recklessly that it actually caused a whole lot of problems. So this is literally something that could literally happen. Like,
mm-hmm.
this could be real life, and that's why I'm like,
No, well, yeah.
oh, fuck those researchers.
If
They're
if some
practicing very badly.
if researchers found out some drug that would do this, this is a very real thing that could happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they could do it this recklessly, and it could literally cost someone's life, and I do not stand for that.
Yeah, this guy was like literally the healthy subject, just doing his own part, like, oh, it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna do this little thing, and now he's like, he's been God. He has made universes.
You
That's
know,
not how you
sometimes I
want to
do that
spend your
too.
effort.
While you sleep.
Yeah,
Like my
fair.
in my dreams. That's why I have started
But
another podcast
but
called Sleepy
also,
Pie about my dreams, and
mhm.
I'll at some point cover the dreams where my dreams had to make lore for me to explain why I dream like that.
Okay, that's crazy,
Yeah, it's
but in a cool way. I
right.
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
The credit for this story
goes
goes
to
to Peter Frost David. Frost is an amazing second name.
absolutely.
I love that.
It reminds me of
Um,
Jack Frost, but like Peter Frost.
yeah,
And
same, but also,
we got the story from
yeah,
creepypasta.com. All the links will be
again,
in the description, of course.
hmm
Also the links for anything. Kai wants to link. Kai, I have seen on Insta as well that you actually started a
yeah,
drawing page where you like draw the monsters of our stories, or like the monsters from my dreams, I guess, because you
I
also did
uh,
that.
I
Thanks.
started with
Okay,
drawing like
maybe
a
you should.
monster
I
from
don't
a
know if you
dream.
can show them on here, because
I
there's
already
nudity in there.
grabbed my drawing thingy-majig. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, like YouTube
so
has different rules than Insta.
that's very true.
Like on Insta,
That's
you can
very true.
show a lot, and you can't on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So
No
if you want to
fair.
see his drawings, please go to Insta.
Yeah.
They're
Um,
very interesting. I love them.
they are. I do not take on a schedule. I do not know when my next post is gonna be, but when I feel inspired
He just draws.
and I draw something cool, I'll post it and maybe you can follow me
Yeah.
there. Um, yeah, it's entitled entities. They are very
Entitled
entitled.
entities. I'll put it in the
Yes.
description so you can look it up.
Amazing. Amazing.
Also, please like and subscribe, like I always ask for.
Like,
Um,
subscribe, reblog, repost,
Comments,
comment your
download this
favorites
entire
if it
video,
does stuff.
re-upload it. Don't do that. Just joking.
Download this video, like rewatch it like every minute of your day
No,
because
then
your
please
mind is
just
slowing so
rewatch it
much
on
down the
YouTube,
phone.
because then it could get me a
Oh
lot of
yeah, yeah,
views.
yeah. Yeah.
Also, Kai, when we reach 2K, you said you would let me do a makeover, right?
At 1K, right?
At
2K
oh
is
yeah, no,
the
1K.
painting
Yes,
thing.
at 1K I would be
Okay,
allowed to.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Great. Anyways, that was it for today. Please take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You're amazing. And we'll be
You
leaving it
are
at this.
perfection.
You are perfection, like Kai says. And we'll be leaving it at this, right? Any parting words, Kai?
Love you to death. Till death do us part.
Oh my
I don't know.
goodness. You already died.
I
Anyways,
already died.
bye!